Hey guys, so today we're going to take a look at graphing lines. So the first thing I want to remind you of is we have already started talking about slope. Remember, slope is the steepness of the line, and we're only going to be focused on graphs today, so remember to find slope, we use rise over run. Well, now we're going to take it a step further and start writing equations of lines. So we're going to take that m, slope, and put it in an equation. So here's our equation, formula or form. Y equals mx plus b. Well, we already know that the m is the slope. But in equations, the b is what's called the y-intercept. So in other words, that's where the line goes across the y-axis. That's the line that goes up and down on the graph. So let's practice identifying those parts in an equation. So let's say we have y equals 3x plus 6. Let's identify the slope and the y-intercept. Well, the slope, and let's do a little bit of color coding. That seems to help us when we learn. So the slope, which is in front of the x, is the 3. So slope always is in front of the x. And the y-intercept, which is the plain old number, is positive 6. That's it, guys. We're just identifying parts of the equation for now. So let's look at another one. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. So our slope is the number that's in front of the x. So our slope is negative 1/2. That's a decreasing line. And our y-intercept, or the plain old number, or constant, is 4. So that's where this line crosses the y-axis. Let's do a few more. So let's identify the slope and y-intercept in y equals 3/4 x minus 3. Let's start with the slope. It's always in front of the x. So m equals 3/4. That's our slope. And the y-intercept is always by itself. It's a plain old number. So my y-intercept is negative 3. Let's keep going. What if we have this? Y equals 9 plus x. Well, first of all, they flipped our x and our plain old number. Don't be fooled by that. It's the same. So my slope is what's in front of the x, but there's not a number there. Well, there is. It's just an invisible 1. Remember, when we solved equations, that was an invisible 1. So my slope is 1. It's a positive 1. And my plain old number is 9. It's a positive 9. See, if there's nothing in front of it, it's a positive. So my y-intercept, or my b, is 9. Let's try another one like that, where they mix it up a little bit. So y equals negative 11 plus 2x. So again, I told you on purpose that we mix this up a little bit. So my slope, which is in front of my x, is positive 2. And my y-intercept, which is the plain old number, is negative 11. Remember, keep the sign that's in front of the number with it. Then we have a couple of other crazy situations. What if we just had this? Y equals 15. I see the plain old number, so that's going to be my y-intercept. But I don't see an x. Well, what if I multiply something by it makes it disappear? 0. So my slope in this situation is 0. Okay? So now let's take this that we just learned and let's actually use it to graph some lines. So we're actually going to call this number 7. So on your paper, all that I want you to jot down is I want you to do a rough sketch like this and you're going to do this right here. And I want to make sure that you label the y-intercept, which is 4, okay? Because you know how to find the slope. That's nothing new, but finding the y-intercept is new. So the first thing you guys are going to do is you're going to find where the line crosses the y-axis. That's going to be your B. So in this case, it crosses at 4. Now, to do slope, we have to do rise over run, remember? So I've got to find a good corner point. Nope, nope. Oh, this is a good corner point. So I do my rise and my run. Well, my rise is 1, 2, 3, but it goes down, so -3 over, and my run is 1, 2. So my equation is y equals mx plus b. So let's plug in those numbers that we just found. Y equals m is -3 over 2, x, what's my b? 4, so plus 4. So that is how you write the equation of a line. And actually, on the rest of them, guys, don't try to sketch the graphs unless you just have to, okay? Like if you want to show the rise and the run, that's fine, but really focus on writing the equations. So let's start with our y equals mx plus b. That's the form of a line. So I need to identify my slope and my y-intercept. I always start with my y-intercept. Here's your y-axis. So my y-intercept is 0. Now that I've got one good corner point, I'm going to find another one to find the slope. So, nope, nope. Oh, there it is right there. That's a good one. So I'm going to do my rise and my run. I rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I run 1, 2, 3. And I notice it goes down. So my slope is -5/3. So now I have what I need to plug into my equation. Y equals m, which is -5/3, x. And since it's plus 0, I don't need to write that down. I mean, I'm going to dot it so you'll see that it's kind of invisible. Okay? But on a test, you would just write y equals -5/3 x. And that would be your answer. So let's practice a few more of these. That was example 8. So now let's make this example 9. Write down your y equals mx plus b. That's your equation of a line. So I've got to find my m and my b. Let me move that down a little bit. M, b. I always start with my y-intercept. So that's going to be at +2. And now I need another good corner point to find my slope. So I see one right there. So I rise 1, 2, 3, and I run 1. Well, what does 3 over 1 reduce to? 3. And it's going up, so it should be positive. So y equals, my slope was 3x, and my y-intercept was a +2. So the equation of this line is y equals 3x plus 2. Let's try a couple more of these. Okay, so again, I'm going to start with y equals mx plus b. Write that down, please. Next, write m equals and b equals. And let's find our b first. I like to find my y-intercept first. And in this case, it is +1, 2, 3. And now I need another good corner point to find my slope. Well, that's not a good one. No. Oh, here's a good one. So my rise is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1, 2, 3. So now I plug that into my equation. Y equals, we said our slope, or m, was 5/3 x, and my y-intercept was plus 3. So y equals 5/3 x plus 3. Look at number 5, or I'm sorry, let's label that number 11. We want to keep it consistent here. That looks strange. Well, let's do y equals mx plus b. I want you to write m equals and b equals. I would almost sketch this graph so you have an example. If you have a horizontal line, don't we already know the slope is 0? Didn't we learn that a couple of lessons ago? But I do need my y-intercept. So this crosses the y-axis. See, that's the y-axis at -1. So watch this. Y equals 0x plus 1. Well, what's 0 times x? 0. So your equation is y equals 1. Remember we talked about that earlier? And now let's try one more. And then I want to show you another special case. So example 12. Y equals mx plus b. Write m equals and b equals. So my y-intercept is 1, 2. And my slope, let's see, not a good corner point. Oh yeah, that's a good one. So I rise 1 and I run 2. So my slope, and it's increasing, so a positive 1/2. So my equation is y equals m is 1/2, that's my slope. Put in your x, and my y-intercept is at positive 2. I'm not going to do the rest of these down here, but I do want to show you this. So let's do a 13. What if you had a line that looks like this? Because you're going to have something like this on your practice. I'm going to say this is poop, poop, poop. Okay. Don't freak out about this. I am telling you that this equation, this one's a weird one, is x equals, and then you count over to where it crosses. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the equation to this line is x equals 4. So yes, I want you to practice your y equals mx plus b, but I am telling you that this is a special case, okay? So if you have an undefined slope, remember, vertical line is undefined slope, then the way you write the equation is you go over, you count the x that it's on, 1, 2, 3, 4, and x equals 4. Even, let me do another one, even if it had been somewhere over here. So let's do a second one, and I'm going to make that at 3, -3. So that second one would be at x equals -1, 2, 3. So watch out for that special case. Please make sure you use your notes on your practice, and I'll talk to you guys later.